screen.
Keith's having a heart attack over there. JK. All righty, guys. We are live. Stop talking. We're live. It is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, February 18th. And what this means is this is the How to Be Cheeky. We also need to rename the podcast. How to Be Cheeky Visual Podcast. Welcome to anybody who's watching this live. If you are watching it after today, we are excited to have you as well. So my name is April. G, do you want to go next?
Oh, I'm G.
And then we've got some amazing, wonderful, extra special guests with us today. Care to introduce yourselves?
I'm Aaron Moses Robin.
Hi, I'm Keith.
All right. So basically, while we've talked about specifically entrepreneurship in the past episode since we've launched the podcast, today we're actually going to do something a little bit different. So today we are going to use the session as a real brainstorming session for creative content. So this is really basically from here on, and we're going to kind of ignore the fact that anyone's watching this, unless comments come up, in which case we'll address them. But we just thought it would be really cool to showcase some sort of behind the scenes dialogue. Both Aaron and Keith are part of the Cheeky content team. So what we do is we do visual content, video, photo, written word. We are obviously branching into audio now as well. And we never really get enough time to talk out the brainstorming and the content stuff. And it's just super fun. And we were excited to bring this to the pod today. So without further ado, I think we're just going to jump into a few of the ideas that we've been talking about behind the scenes at Cheeky. And hopefully some other interesting stuff comes up along the way as well. Sound good, y'all?
Sounds good.
Good.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all. I've turned Southern today. Don't mind me. I'm in like over caffeinated always. So
Amen to that.
Amen to that.
Need a t-shirt.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Please, if you care to, we could start doing merch, Aaron.
Oh my God. I have been saying that for so long. Please, can I have a hat?
Yeah. Okay, so first things first, I'm calling this meeting to order. Who's taking notes?
I'm taking notes. And G.
Okay,
We're both taking notes.
Okay, great. I'm not taking notes. I'm just delegating. Okay, so the first order of business, I think it's about Bankin and Ras, is it not?
Yes.
How do you say their names again?
Anyone else want to try?
The creators can take it.
Yeah, sure. Bankin and Ras.
Hey,
nice to meet you.
Okay, so obviously Cheeky team knows who these guys are, but for anyone who doesn't know who they are, here's the story with this. So around the holidays, I had revisited the Rudolph movie, which is this iconic claymation that was produced in the 60s, excuse me, and was just like an iconic part of my childhood. And from what I understand, it's like really well respected and lauded within the animation world. And the production house, the animation production house, is called Bankin and Ras. Rankin Bass. So anywho, we decided around that time, given everything that was happening in the world, that we could all really use some levity. And part of the Cheeky identity is being kind of like light and peppy and fun and innocent as well. G being the exception.
How did I know you were going to say something?
You were making that look.
Besides me.
But anyway, so that was kind of why we decided to have a couple little figures to come into the world of Cheeky. And so Aaron, I basically said, hey, Aaron, we need some claymation. Don't spend 2 years on this.
Yeah.
And this is what their names are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. One of the first things that you asked about the claymation elves was like, so I think like Nightmare Before Christmas took like 2 years to shoot. Like what are you going to do? And I was like, well, they're not going to have legs, so they don't have to bend. So walking is going to be really easy for them.
They just glide across the floor. It's awesome.
Yeah, squeaky little.
Right.
Love it. So I guess the evolution of Bankin and Ras has been, again, I love, and I obviously want everyone's opinion, but I love them. I think, Aaron, you've done like a phenomenal job with this, and they're so cute. I think that they need to be renamed because, again, while I think I personally found from an inside joke perspective, it was a sweet thing to do to kind of have like an homage to these guys. Nobody else knows who the fuck they are. And we can't even pronounce it right. So, so we need name ideas.
So for reference,
let's get a good look at them. I need to get a good feel.
Yeah. I'm going to do the makeup tutorial.
Oh,
exactly. Hey, who's that one? What's that one's name now?
This way? Don't you do it this way, Aaron? Like where it's you have your hand that way? There we go. Yeah. So which one's this?
I believe this one is Bankin.
Okay.
Bankin.
Part of why they need new names.
Big money Bankin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's Ras. Okay. So, right. So they need new names. Aaron, do you actually want to pull up? And I think, G, you'll need to enable this. I think you should show the 2 videos that you've made already so we can have a little show and tell and like actually analyze this. And then when is the vacay video supposed to go live?
I think we're going to do next month.
Okay.
That's what we're doing in March. Yeah.
We can do a preview for podcast watchers.
Do you see an option to share your screen?
Let me see.
We haven't actually done this yet. It should already be enabled.
Share screen?
Yeah. I think it should just be at the bottom. There should be some mute, stop cam, cam mic, leave studio.
Doing a lot of like.
I see leave studio. Yeah. I see share. Yeah. So while he's looking for that, we'll just throw in some filler words.
I feel like, okay, so Bankin and Ras or Raskin and Bank.
No, there's no K at the end of Ras.
Ras. It's Ras.
Yeah.
I really like those names because they're not obvious first names. Yeah. I think that the like not obvious first names is kind of nice. Also like not really common names. They sound, I thought that y'all had made them up actually. It was until
I did make them
recently.
up. I did make them up, but I just switched the word. So it should be Rankin Bass, and I switched it to Bankin Ras.
Oh.
Ew.
Okay, yeah. It sounds cool. I mean, it sounds nice. I wonder if there's like another kind of like iconic combo that embodies cheeky.
Right.
Is there like a duo that we love?
I mean, it could be like a Thelma and Louise kind of thing, but I feel like that's also kind of like. Keith, you love dark.
Yeah, no, that's true. But they're in their final episode. They're in
Grace and Frankie.
Yeah,
my partner has me watching. Oh yeah.
2 things. One is that before I knew their names, I was sort of calling them Jim because he looks very just normal, and then this one was Bebo because his eyes. Or their eyes were just like totally wonky. I like the idea that there was one that was just like a first name, like naming a cat like a human first name, and then like one that was like.
Well, here's the other part of this thing though is like they. Like, again, it's very inside jokey for us, sort of. I mean, again, 3/4 of the people on the screen already didn't know the origins or like any of this. So I found it to be funny. But I do think the fact that, I mean, we basically changed them from guys to girls. And then, like, I think there's been some, and then they became employees. Like, initially they were just elves. And then we were like, oh, they work for us. Like, I feel like there's some narrative that we could build in.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. I want them around for the long term. I think it's funny if they are our employees. Just because it's like we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the Bank and Ras part, again, besides the fact that it's just disappointing every time somebody doesn't get the joke. At the same time, I feel like there's like we were playing like EDM at the facility the other day, and I was like, oh, Club Cheeky, which I think has a ring to it, and I feel like we need something like that.
Yeah, maybe not taking like a name from somewhere. Maybe we need to like actually make up names.
Maybe it's Key and Cheek.
What is it?
Oh,
Key and Cheek.
Oh God, that's going to be really hard to keep straight.
I actually kind of like that.
All right, well, write them down. Note takers, take your notes.
Okay, Key and Cheek.
Okay.
I have to quit Google Chrome to allow it to share my screen. So ought I leave and come back?
Oh, is that
What?
Okay.
Wait, are you on Google Chrome now?
Yeah.
And it's going to share Google Chrome?
Yeah. And it says that I would have to like quit to give it the I have to restart
because
Google Chrome.
you don't have permission to record your screen
Yeah.
enabled on Chrome.
But I can just pop out and pop back in. I think that's
yeah.
I just want to let you know why I was disappearing.
Okay.
It's like,
and
fine,
I'm
over
done
this.
with you.
Oh,
There we are.
where are we?
Everyone was unprepared except for me. Because I just, as you know, I had to just adjust my background so much that I was like prepared for it to go out again. Okay, so while he does that, all right, so the note takers have taken some notes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we probably just independently need to think about it.
Yeah.
But we all like them, right? We like them as part of our team.
100%.
I like them. I think that if them being elves, I feel like there's something that's kind of like seasonal that maybe like inhibits their like all year long relevance.
Well, but I think they became not elves once they left
like
Christmas.
Or like, I mean, what's another kind of
dudes.
like elvish, like maybe they're fairies.
Or
Like Tinkerbell.
Yeah, they feel very like Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really...
there's a labor force element to them for sure. Where we're always making them do stuff.
That is giving me a little heebie-jeebies.
Wait, they go on vacation.
Is the like unpaid labor, non-human.
No. Firstly, nobody said they were not paid. A.
Yeah, that's true.
and B, as Aaron's pointing out, they go on vacation and it's paid vacay. So.
Oh yeah, well, I never got paid vacay. What the hell?
Wait.
Hold on. We gotta go. Oh my God, we gotta go from the start. No, we gotta go from the start.
Okay.
We gotta go from the Christmas video first, right?
Oh yes.
It's sequential order: Christmas, Valentine's.
Oh gosh.
And then
I know it's a little chaotic.
Endless mirror.
I'm gonna see if I have the Christmas one on here because I think it may be on.
You can just look at it on IG too. If you just pull it up IG in the browser, you can just pop it up there.
Don't you love looking at IG in the browser?
Yeah.
I forget about that.
It's so nice.
Cool.
Also, I've been trying the $1.80 method just while we're doing it. I've been trying this $1.80 method, right? What's his face? Gary V. And it's like you put your 2 cents on the top 9 accounts, or like on 9 accounts for your top 10 hashtags, meaning the hashtags you want to be associated with. I get through putting like my 2 cents on 9 accounts in the first hashtag and I'm exhausted. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. I've already spent like an hour and a half. Like how many hours? And I told my partner and she's like, how do people do that? And I'm like, it's literally their 9 to 5 job. It's like comment and engage on Instagram. I'm like, I can't do 10 hashtags. Now.
Yeah. There's other things.
Every day too. Yeah. Bananas.
Putting in the work. All right. Got it, Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the Christmas movie.
Okay.
Aaron did the Claymation.
Ready?
I swooped in and did some final edits. Wait, can you play the music?
Let's see.
All right, there's some very Christmassy music playing with us right now.
So when you share screen, originally when you open up the like share screen and it asks like share desktop or share a Chrome window, I think there's an option to say like also share audio.
Okay. All right.
Didn't see that.
Either way, doesn't really matter. Okay, so wait, hold on. This is the last one. We have to do the Valentine's Day one first.
Okay. Oh yes.
Okay, so basically, just for either people on this call who don't know this, or for people who might be watching later. So Bankin and Ras, they first appear during the holidays, as one would imagine, and they were our like Christmas elves employees who were schlepping and fulfilling all the packages because we legit during like October, November, and particularly December were just crushed with orders. And then Valentine's Day, we were like, okay, they need to evolve. We want them to show like a wonderful way to celebrate not Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day. And then we also were like, and they're not dating, by the way, and they are not necessarily boys. So this is the Valentine's Day.
Yeah, for HR reasons, not dating.
Not dating. Although they're interested.
Open to it. One of them just needs to buck up the courage and ask already. God damn it.
So cute.
That was cute because how could they light the candles?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well,
yeah.
That was actually Mikey's hand. So
oh,
it was a little behind the scenes.
Great
Nice.
job, Mikey.
Yeah.
I was actually
Good job,
wondering,
Mikey.
I was actually wondering how they lifted the candles.
So actually, since it's up here, Mikey was there the whole time helping out, but we found a little, actually this is very like time appropriate, but we found a tie from a mask. If you look really closely at where the two candles connect.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh.
We wanted a white string, so we took one of the strings from a mask and tied it together so that in each of its little steps.
Perfect.
That's hilarious. That's awesome. I was
I don't know if
wondering
knowing too much ruins it, but
yeah. No, not at all. I'm like, did they have just like a string that they like hid, or are they just very, very strong?
yeah, I think they like got on top of each other to get it as high as they could, and then they pushed and threw it.
Got it.
In a utilitarian way that only elves can do.
Got it.
We got the job done.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And so,
Awesome.
by the way, the music I really think that the music turned out great on that. Again, for anyone who hasn't seen these, both those two they are up on our IG, so you can check them out. But I really think that the music makes it. And I'm glad, Aaron, that we were on the same page about like the cheesy Italian restaurant music, because it was like perfect. Okay, you want to show the vacay video?
Yeah, let's see it.
Cool.
Oh.
After.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I like this one. The sand.
With the cooler.
Yeah.
It gives it this element of like just super high detail, getting to be so close.
Yeah.
You know, and like you see the tiny little grains of sand and it makes their scale so much more apparent.
Yeah. And I love, so when Aaron first showed me this, he was like, I was like, are they wearing, what are those bathing suits that they're wearing? And he's like, well, I couldn't get the bows any smaller. So the bows are like,
they're like sumo wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, those were cut from felt. So they were like just tiny little hand-tied bows.
Yeah. Love it. And I forget, do we have music for this one yet? I think we do, right?
For this one, we just have sound. So I sort of like, I took some like just random yays that I found on like YouTube, and then I sped them up really fast, like people going yay or cheers, and then sped them up like 1,000 times so that it's just like yay, and then
got it. So musically, I think we either need some sort of like bossa nova-y thing, or maybe even like a classic rock, or
like a Beach Boys.
Yes, surf,
Rock Lobster.
Surf rock.
Like surf. Yeah, surf would be fun. But yeah, let's look at music options for that as well. So down with that, and then again, would love to know exactly when that's going up so we can kind of form the proper caption.
Yeah.
We had something else. Gee, what's on the rest of the list for Bankin and Ras? I know we had something else we were going to talk about.
We're going to talk about behind the scenes just in general, and
yeah. So Aaron, I forget if I brought this up in Monday's meeting or not, but I think the evolution, and again, I'm saying this also for the benefit of the audience, but it would be really funny to document using some mild or low lifting acting to recreate the assigning of the Bankin and Ras projects, because again, some of the dialogue that we went through about like when I was like, are they wearing towels? And you're like, no, their legs are just connected directly to their feet are just connected directly to their bodies. So they can't wear pants. Like, I feel like some of that stuff is really funny. So wondering what you need from us to like get that started.
Well, I guess just anything that you're interested in knowing, like, are they wearing towels? But no, to speak on that one, it's like they were supposed to be these little like restaurant workers. We were thinking that Mikey and I thinking about how they were gonna just be like basically us, and how we were about to work a crazy Valentine's Day. So we thought, what little outfits would they wear if they were in like a fine dining restaurant, just setting up the tables, getting ready. And so these like, you can sort of see their little collars. I don't know, it might be a little too bright,
but they know that they were dining, right?
Yeah, and they have like collared shirts. So I think they were just like getting ready for a fancy night of any kind. We had talked about doing like a park date, but there's something about like you know, it was snowing that day, and so like it felt weird to like fake a park date inside of the apartment for these little creatures and then like post that out. Yeah. We were like, let's just do what we're going to actually do.
Yeah. Or it's like show them out in the snow and it's like Valentine's gone bad. Like where they're like all of a sudden it's like a horror movie where they're like under all the snow. Like
well, yeah, I mean, I feel like they would just fly away is really like part of their
fly? See, they are fairies.
They are fairies. Okay, so all right. So I think actually a related sort of thing is if you got any like outtakes from this stuff, what I think could be fun is also giving some of the stuff to Keith so he can turn these things into horror films, as that's his preference. But it would be really funny because he did that one video. What did you make into a horror movie, Keith?
It was just like kind of like some almost like stock video that you all had taken, like kind of getting your lighting right and you had to like slow down. So you had like a 22-minute video of just like making a cocktail and pouring a cocktail. And I was like, how can I, because I was playing around with iMovie for the first time. And I was like, well, if I need to get good enough at this that I can translate a feel or a vibe, I'm like, I might as well go really dramatic. And I love like when you see on like YouTube or something when people invert genres. So like they'll take like The Shining, right, and they'll turn it into a rom-com. I just like love that idea because I'm like, wow, that's the same footage, but look at how they manipulated it or like added this effect or this like tone of voice. So it was just like a horror movie of a cocktail being made. Which you know, we're all bartenders here, so that definitely has happened to all of us before.
Okay, so I actually, note takers, all three of you, whip out your pens. I would love to keep that on the sort of brainstorming list as I love that idea. And I think that we talk about with the brand, like the duality, the like, this is me and this is also me, like me looking fabulous and me looking like face down on a couch with popcorn everywhere, wearing sweats. So I love that idea of like that contrast. And I also just feel like, and you guys feel free to comment on this, but I feel like what naturally organically feels like the evolution of us as a group of people and us as a brand is incorporating creativity from a range of different outlets and not being, I think, grotesque about like how we're like being creative in a particular project, but I love the idea of being like, we're just going to intentionally satirize this thing because it's fucking fun. And while I do think Bankin and Ras need to be a little bit better brand ambassadors, like showing cheeky a little bit more, I love the idea of having just a lot of our content just being like really showcasing the power of like of creativity and like melding all of these different skill sets and our kind of collective knowledge. So let's keep a little bookmark about that, however you want to frame it, of like, I don't know, whatever the duality of those two things, or like what are genres that we would love to reprise. I think that's super interesting.
Yeah. I thought that's interesting that you bring up too, like making these little guys sometimes more Cheeky centric, because I find a lot of the times with the work that I'm doing for Cheeky, I have to almost like bring it back in and be like, there is at the end of the day actually a product that Cheeky makes. Like sometimes my brain is so in like Cheeky is education, Cheeky is inspiring, Cheeky empowers, Cheeky is off the cuff or playful, and then I have to be like, oh yeah, there's there's syrups and juices that we sell too.
Well, yeah, but and again, I go back and forth on this, and I think we all know this because we've all had a lot of dialogue about this. I don't ever want to be a business where we're just like, buy our shit, like buy it, or else, but like I think that incorporating it sometimes. I personally love the soft sell, and I think that if we are creating value and something that's just really appealing to people, like again, for me, it's like I feel like coming into COVID, and G and I have talked about this with the podcast in general, but like all of my favorite podcasts or creative outlets, everybody all of a sudden was reporting on COVID, and it was like, but all these beautiful things that I know to be true in the world. I would love some of that to live independent of that, because there's so much beauty in just like abstract creativity, or just like when you as like a photographer or as a writer or videographer, you see art that you just appreciate. And again, I don't think that we need to be like hammering people over the head about it, nor do I think, let's just say if we have 10 Bankin and Ras videos, nor do I think we even need more than half of them to ever have Cheeky in that, like I don't think it needs to be a lot. But it's also, again, I think because my tendency is to not really mention Cheeky, I think that we probably should at least just be aware of it. So that's all. But yeah, I'd rather us think about like,
I feel like
value.
I feel like everything that they've done, I mean, in like the holiday one, it was like an ethereal idea of like what goes on behind the scenes, like an elf planting a seed to grow a lemon juice bottle is like obviously not the reality, but it's like that's as far as you have to think about juicing a lemon.
That wasn't real footage.
No, can you believe? We didn't have it's really just because we didn't have the time to let the Cheeky juice bottle grow. I had to like take it. Would have, but like that sort of the idea of simplicity for the guest is that we will put lemon juice on your doorstep instead of you having to like deal with how to get all of these ingredients. It's we do make it simpler, and like as far as you need to know, little elves made it or anything like that. And then like them on the beach is like, they do have little Cheeky bottles, by the way, which I was thinking like, and I have this backstory in my head, and I'm like, Bankin and Ras as names, we all have these like backstories. It's like, do they read or not, and like how much do they have to? But I had the idea that they had these bottles left over, and so they put like little like nutcracker drinks into them and like brought them to the beach, because they were like, oh, it's like it has just as much syrup that I need. I like mix it all together, and then I reuse the bottle to like travel with. Go to the beach. And then the other one I sort of thought spoke to the fact that we all work in the industry, and that they were like, just little restaurant workers but like dining.
This I have to say, Aaron, this in itself actually could be and I don't know if you have any desire or willingness to do this, but that in itself would actually be really funny too, is like a behind the scenes of you like talking to yourself, like just like for like 10 minutes being like, and then this is what they did next. And then, and then they this happened. And then you being like, and being
like a roommate walks in and is like, who are you talking to? And you're like, my friends, Bankin and Ras.
Well, that's exactly what happens. You wanted behind the scenes. That's behind the scenes. I was imagining you were going to go more like you've been on your own Instagram posting a lot of the like behind the scenes or like the discussions with designers, and they're like, well, like Pee Wee Herman's like voice puppeteer was like had that like really like beautiful thing to say about what he was doing. Meanwhile, you guys are like, yeah, just talk to the dolls. I'm like,
so I what Aaron is referencing is like I've been watching a number of documentaries recently about like puppeteers and designers and cartoonists and typographers and things. And one of these was this guy. I think his name is Walt Whitman, the name of the guy in that show about drugs. I think that's what this guy's name was. Either way, not the same person, but he was a puppeteer and the voice for a number of puppets on the Pee Wee Herman show. And he's just talking. I mean, it's just really funny because it was obviously a kid's show, but at the same time, he's just narrating, like in the documentary, he's narrating about, he's like, oh, and I did this voice and I did this voice. And then you see like, you know, a few frames of that puppet with his voice. And then he's like, and then I was flower number 3. And he's like, I collaborated with this person and this person. He's like, we're just sitting there like 3 assholes, blah, 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 blah. Like, it just was funny because it's just like the humor about it was like the creation of in itself has its own sort of set of humor. I just love that sort of layered thing. But anyway, that's another idea, note takers.
I think Walt Whitman is like a classic American poet.
I think so too.
Yeah.
What's Walter White though?
Breaking Bad.
Right, that was his name.
Walt Whitman, yes. Sold heroin out of a trailer.
Yeah, I don't remember. But just closing this one down because I know that we're already over time, but I'd like to spend a few more minutes unless people have to go. You guys okay?
I'm here. Chilling, yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So
we have 2 other items on our list.
I know that we don't have to get to all of them, but the thing I wanted to say to sort of close this down, and I think that we all innately are on the same page on this. Have you guys seen the movie Life is Beautiful?
No.
Yes.
It is a movie about the Holocaust, and this is gonna sound real fucked up, but like whatever. It's a movie about the Holocaust. The sort of storyline is it's a father, and I have not seen this since I was living in Italy when I was in college. But the father basically tells the story of kind of what's happening with his son, where he makes it all like light and fun, and he pretends the whole thing is a game. And so it's this really tragic circumstance through the eyes of like kind of like a child having fun. And like I think there's so much about like we talk about like in our brand wide deck, how like positivity is important to us, is more important to us than optimism. Like optimism is just kind of blindly being like, good things will happen. Positivity is the decision to see things in a certain way. And that's something that I think we're already doing with a lot of the work that we're creating, but I would love to keep doing is like, we have decided to harness our creative energies in this really positive way. And so I think that goes to like Bankin and Ras and that whole entire story that Aaron's told himself about their lives. But just wanted to throw that in there. Cool. All right. Next topic. Oh, go ahead, G.
Bar behaviors. Characters Zoom video. If it's not appropriate on Zoom, it's not appropriate in a bar. Okay. So for the audience, for the 2 people who are watching, I don't know how many people are watching or who will watch, but hey. All right. So I think that we've already talked about getting into like meme-ish videos. Since I was a little kid, I literally wanted to just do stupid, funny videos. And this is our opportunity to do it. So the first one that we're going to work on is the idea of like, if it's like, what if you acted on Zoom the way you act in a bar? And this is a great opportunity to showcase a lot of unsavory bar behavior. When this is over, I want to do the opposite and all go into a bar and act like we're on Zoom.
Yeah.
And just have somebody flirt with you and just be like, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Oh my God. Write that
down.
You're on mute. Gee, I have another hilarious one for that. You can also have somebody like with sweatpants on and like a really nice looking top show up at the bar.
Yeah. like a suit jacket and underwear, like Ugg boots, just walking to the bar.
Yeah, I forgot I wasn't on Zoom. Love it. Okay. So those are 2. We talked about the garnish eater as one of the characters.
Oh my
we talked about the guy who leans in real close and is like inappropriately flirting.
Yeah. Let's call him mouth breather.
We talked about
You can also be the girl who's inappropriately flirting with the bartender, who's like waiting around way after done closing, and you're like, please leave. Like, nobody's gonna go home with you. It's 7 a.m. We're all exhausted and we stink of egg white and lime juice.
Yeah.
If there's not a rag in your hand and you're not cleaning something, get out of the bar.
Yeah.
Get going.
Gross. Okay, so I think we need how long do we think this should be? Because again, I think we should probably look at some other meme videos and just, not that we have to copy at all, but like just to get a sense of like, is 20 minutes too long? I'm just joking, obviously, but
yes.
Are we talking 30 seconds? Are we talking a minute? Are we talking 15 seconds? Like, I think we need probably a few seconds per person, like maybe like 5 seconds per person to establish their persona. So I would say, who wants to take that? Just looking at a few videos for length and for seconds on screen.
I have some in mind, so I can look at that.
Cool. Can you also share the videos with us?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, because I want to know like if costuming is going to be appropriate.
Right. So we need casting. I think that it would be funny and really fun to put this out. Like, I mean, I think actually it would be really funny to be like casting call and because I really do think that like within our bartender friends, we could recruit some people who would be very funny at this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Casting call for assholes in a bar.
Your favorite roles.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I think we need reference videos. We need to have a target time. We need to recruit people. We need a voiceover. The way I've imagined this is it's a, sort of like, maybe like circus announcery, sort of like guy with a deep voice being like, what if you acted on, on
or like the Dos Equis voice.
I don't think
like
the most interesting man.
Yeah, the most interesting man. He's got this kind of like absurd mustache and he's like very like
G, can you find a few options for voices?
Okay.
Great. Voices or just other like
voices aren't my particular strong suit, but I might find some examples.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Examples / other inspo. And also again, I want to document your idea about the reverse. Like really funny. But other meme sort of things. And again, it doesn't have to be like COVID or particularly like time relevant, but just other fun stuff that's like related to our world. I think forcing the question is never going to help, but just putting it in your brains that it would be really fun to do a series of these.
Yeah. I really like the notion of the inverse too, because I think that like having been back part-time in the service industry since the middle of last summer, I can't even tell you how many times people would be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I just forgot how to do this. Yeah. And it's because they're doing something really awkward or just sort of like the sort of natural dynamic of like, oh, this is how to go out and order a drink has totally like almost like left their notion of something that's possible for themselves. So the sort of like zooming your way through an actual in-life restaurant experience is pretty.
Well, this actually, I mean, this might be way too complex to convey in a visual way, but definitely, like, I mean, I've found myself forgetting to pay for things. Like, for example, but for real, like, no, because I pay for almost everything with my phone. Like if you think about Uber or like transfers or whatever it is, I do almost all of it with my phone. So like, I dropped my laundry off the other day at the laundromat, and I just thought I paid for it already, and I was like, "Oh, thanks so much," and they're like. Like it's that sort of thing. I feel like trying to capture the QR code on the menu thing. Like it could be somebody just like holding the phone up and like trying to scan the human. Visually, it would probably be like too confusing. Yeah. But these are real things that are happening, and so perhaps that sort of thing can evolve. Who knows?
Yeah. Here you pay for every. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like a server walking up and like seeing someone trying to QR code and just being like, oh, another one of these, and then just takes their phone, takes a picture of the menu, and gives them back their phone because they're so used to like reading it on their phone exclusively. Like,
yeah. No, I mean it's a good point too.
Or like trying to zoom on the paper menu.
Yeah.
And you're like,
No, I mean, I'm not even joking. Have you guys done this too? Like sometimes I find myself like tapping the back of my phone just because I'm like, oh, it's a screen. You know, like I have no grasp on it. No, but I these things, you know.
Yeah. I hear you can pay for everything like at your phone, like every store, every coffee shop, like it's all Apple Pay. So I have on a number of occasions forgotten my ID, and then I go and try to buy alcohol and they're like ID, and I'm like my phone, and they're like no. I'm like damn it.
Well, I mean, are there other, and again, this can be just something that we think about, but are there other like serious behavioral change that you guys have been noticing as of late? Like again, we all talk about like, okay, people, like so many more consumers, like whatever, 60% of adults over 50 or whatever had not ordered on e-commerce prior. You know, there's like crazy adoption rates of new behaviors. So maybe this is just something that we consider over the next week before sort of our next meeting. And
oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
But like you're at a date at the table and you're just like get Zoom fatigue. So you just like put like a pop-up black square in front of you and go lay down on the couch and just be like, I'm just turning my camera off for a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Write it down.
I feel feral, to be honest.
Yeah.
I tried going out. Like I was asked to like help out on a movie set the other morning as just like a favor to a friend. And I was like, yeah, cool. Like society. And you got like a COVID test with it. So I was like, great, free COVID test.
You should also mention that we should mention you're in Amsterdam and things are full on shutdown there, right?
Oh yeah. Things are full on shutdown. Yeah. Things can't go anywhere. Curfews. You can't, only one person can come to your house. So this was like a one opportunity to go outside. So I was like, I'm going to load up some trucks, like get some director's coffee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, production assistant stuff.
Yeah.
And I definitely multiple times in like when I was out being around people, I found myself like openly talking shit. And I was just like, oh my God. like there was somebody who was just like, you know, it's like people are really serious. It's like some production assistants, like they're trying to become directors one day. So they'll take even being a production assistant like really seriously. Me, I'm like, this is a favor to a friend. I'm not getting paid. Like I'm going to find something to do and make myself useful, but I'm like not here to impress anyone. And then next to me, there's like a guy who's like here to impress someone. And I just like at full volume was like, who the fuck is this guy trying to impress?
Like, everyone.
Girl. Oh, damn.
You need to keep your mouth shut.
Damn. We've ruined you for the real world.
Honestly, it's just been so long since I've been around other people. It's like, oh, you can hear me. My mic is on? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
He at least acted like he didn't hear me. So
okay. Let me guess, you did not get invited back.
No,
I mean, he wasn't the person who invited me. He did all right.
He was probably trying to impress your friend, though. So he didn't.
He was trying to
push any further.
Yeah, he was definitely trying to impress my friend. Not me. He didn't care what I thought.
Right. Okay, so kids, I think we are again always dramatically over time, but I dig it. I think it was productive. Anyone want to close out with anything before we bounce? Again, I trust that with 3 people taking notes, some of them overlap.
Yeah. We got some stuff.
Okay, next, what we need a deadline for the memeish video stuff.
We were about to ask for an extension on tomorrow's deadline.
Aaron, you are the deadline. You are the deadline maker /
deadline
of tomorrow's deadline.
This feels like a very good. We do have another Zoom content thing for February. So I feel
that's
like
what's
early
due tomorrow,
March.
Right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay, so no extension. That was a rejection on the extension. Okay, got
I said, if possible, and let me know. If it's not, and no one let me know. So tomorrow it is.
Okay.
Jackie, Andrea, and Casey are in the office today, so I will go down and talk to them in a minute. And then I'll read the email that you sent.
It'll take 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
That's what I think. But I'm thinking early March, because we do want to like spread out our similar content.
Okay, but that being said, I'm not asking for when we're putting it out. I'm asking for when you guys can get samples to us of the like voices and videos, because I think we should just have that sharing, Yeah.
I can have them up by Monday for our meeting.
Okay. G?
Yes.
Monday?
Monday.
Okay,
Not
great.
to pressure anyone.
Thanks.
Sliding scale here.
Keith, do you want to just think about it as well? And then if you find other inspiration, maybe
include it.
Yeah, include it. I would say that let's go over them in the cheeky team meeting on Monday. Let's try to have each person share for, I would say, no more than like 2 minutes per person for this particular project, just so we stay sort of on track. Sound good?
Cool.
Amaze. All right.
On another kind of note, April, are you also filming today?
Because
I noticed we had another deadline for Monday.
That's not public. And not for the
All
reason.
I asked is if you're filming. That's all.
Probably. If not, I will do it this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Holding me responsible, as you should, by the way. Okay. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watchers or future watchers. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and we will see y'all on Monday. Okay.
Ciao.
Yay!
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.